Have you ever been stumped by an objection in a conversation, a negotiation, or a sales pitch? Well, today I'm going to give you a powerful 7-step strategy that you can use to handle any objection like a pro. And by the end of this video, guys, you'll have a bulletproof process that you can use to crush any objection, whether you're working in sales, negotiating a business deal, or just navigating an everyday conversation. Welcome to the channel. My name is Jeremy Funderburk, co-founder of DoubleMyDeals.com. And in this channel, I give you guys all the tools and strategies that you need to make $100,000 in sales every single month. But without any further ado, let's hop to the iPad and let's dive in. All right, so if we're going to be handling these objections, there's just 7 simple steps you need to go through where you can literally handle any objection that a prospect might give you. And we're going to start with step number 1, which is just to listen, right? So often when a prospect gives us an objection, our first instinct is to just react, to get defensive and try to combat. And that's not the way you handle objections, right? So first step, calm down and just listen. All right, so we're gonna listen to what they're saying. And then step 2, we need to acknowledge, or some people call this agreeing. Okay, so what does this mean? It's basically letting them know that you hear what they're saying. Because some people call closing a deal coming to an agreement. And you can never come to an agreement by disagreeing with the prospect. So step 2, we have to acknowledge. Step 3, we need to isolate. This is key, right? This is so key. And I'm going to underline this one because most people, they're not even handling the right objection, right? There's typically 2 objections. There's the one the prospect gives you and then the real one. We want to make sure we're handling the real one. So we need to isolate the objection until we isolate it to only be the real objection. And then even bigger, we need to validate it, step 4. We need to make sure it's a valid objection before we start handling it. And in a second, I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you an actual example of what this looks like. But understand, most of the time when you're handling an objection, it's not really a valid objection. But when you go into handling the objection and trying to solve that problem that's not a real problem, you make it real. If you make it real in the prospect's mind, it instantly becomes real, even if it's not real. So we need to validate the objection. Then step 5, we need to probe, right? We need to figure out, why is this a valid objection? Or how valid is this objection, right? After that, step 6, we'll go to our tie down. And then step 7, we're going to close the deal. All right, so here's what this might look like. Let's say the objection is, I can get it cheaper elsewhere. All right, a lot of people might get that objection. Well, prospects say, hey, I can get it cheaper elsewhere. Step 1, listen, don't interrupt. And actually, if they can see you, then nod your head. It actually shows them that you're actively listening. All right. Step 2, we need to acknowledge. I hear you. That's acknowledging. Hey, I hear you. It doesn't mean we're going to agree that that's a problem, they shouldn't move forward. Just, hey, I hear you. I understand that, you can get it cheaper elsewhere. And that could be a valid concern for you. Let me ask you this. Is there any other reason why you wouldn't move forward today? And that was step 3, isolating. I want to know, is there any other reason? Okay, is there any other reason? If there is, let them tell you, because that reason is more real than the reason they just gave you. And if they give you another reason, isolate that one. Keep going until there's no other objections. Then that's how you know you've landed on the real objection. So we're going to isolate. Step 4, validate. So let's just assume that we try to isolate, hey, I can get it cheaper elsewhere. Any other reason why we couldn't, other than that you wouldn't move forward today? And they say no, great, let's validate. Okay, well, hey, the fact that you think you can get it cheaper elsewhere wouldn't keep you from getting started today, would it? If they say no, transition to the close. It's not a valid objection. If they say yes, now we need to go to step 5 and probe and see why. All right, and that's simply just asking, well, why is that? Very easy way. Or when you say that, what do you mean? And if you want to make it even powerful, stack those two together. Hey, why is that? Let them give you an answer, and after they give you the answer, what do you mean when you say that? How do you mean by that exactly? And let them go deeper. Now we got to tie down. All right? So, hey, assuming that we can make sense of the money, assuming we could leverage assuming that we could offer the same price point, or assuming you want to give them an assumption and assume that you can solve the problem, all right? Assuming I can make sense of the money and how it fits into your budget in a way that's, pretty comfortable for you and it won't put you in harm's way, could we get everything finalized today? And if they say yes, move to the close. Now at this point, you probably want to use a money close. And if they say no, then there's another concern there. So understand that when you get into this area, if they're still giving you concerns, then you need to...
What's going on, family? Hey, I hate to interrupt the video. I know you're getting so much value, but I'm just out here for my walk, and I'm getting message after message after message of people saying, Jeremy, how do I increase my close rate? How do I double my deals? So I actually put together a free training, absolutely free, of some of my top closing strategies that you can actually watch and implement immediately. Just click the link in the description, go watch it, double your deals. Back to the video.
And right back through and cycle through these steps. But if they say yes, cool, move to the close. And if you don't have any money closes or anything like that, click the link in the description. I got a free training you can watch where I give you a few dozen probably, of my closing strategies, literally an hour worth of my closes. Click that training video. You can get my closes verbatim. It's absolutely free. Just click that. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.